Hello lovers, Dr. Murray is here. Today we're revising Chapter 5, Oceans and Fisheries. Okay, what do we get from ocean? We get food, like fish that can be eaten, whatever type of fish that is. Chemicals and building materials. Chemicals and building materials. Many materials from the ocean, they're eroded from the land. The rocks get eroded and then they make their way to the ocean via the rivers. Some substances can be extracted directly, like salts from oceans, magnesium, tin, gold, titanium, diamonds. Salt come from seawater after being left behind and get exposed to sunlight. Diamonds, they are found in greater numbers in ocean floor than on land. They're much harder to mine, of course, because ocean, it's in the ocean. Sand, gravel, and crushed rocks, they are mined for construction of industries. Oil, they're extracted by offshore drilling rigs. Wave energy, an enormous amount of energy in the waves is estimated to produce twice that present world energy production if harnessed. Tidal energy, due to the varying gravitational pull by the sun and the moon. Water in the sea moves up and down twice daily basis. This causes it to come onto land and later recede, which are harnessed to generate electricity. Tourism. It's important for tourism, like for diving, snorkeling, windsurfing, jet skiing. For transport, ships are important to transport people and goods, whatever type of good that is. Okay, now types of merchant or goods carrying ships. We got bulk carrier, container ships, tankers, refrigerated ships, roll-on, roll-off ships, coastal trading, ferries, cruise ships, and ocean liner. Let's take each one of them. Bulk carriers, they transport food such as rice and wheat. Container ships, entire load is carried in lorry size. They're known as containerization. Tankers, they transport fluids or transport vegetable oils and wines. Refrigerated ships, they transport anything that's refrigerated like dairy products, vegetable, fruits, fish, meats, whatever. Roll-on, roll-off ships, they transport of vehicles. Coastal trading are the trades between two places. They're close together. Ferries, they're used mainly for movement of passengers between two lands or islands. Cruise ship is used only for pleasure voyages. Ocean liner is used to transport people from one port to another. Potential for safe drinking water, only small proportion of water is safe to drink, and if you remember, that was 3% only of fresh water we have on global water. Salty water is unsafe for your body and must be removed. Purification, that was discussed in chapter 4, check it out. World fisheries. Distribution of major ocean currents. Surface currents, movement of surface water in sea in constant direction. Prevailing winds is the direction from which the wind prevails, nearly the same in that particular area. Currents in the southern hemisphere are generally anti-clockwise as the winds blow from the southeast and force the Western Australian and the Peruvian current northwards. Okay, the difference between cold and warm currents. Cold come from the poles because, these are the polar areas, Antarctica and stuff. And warm comes from equator because the sun mainly is here, and the earth keeps rotating in the middle, so it's hottest at the middle of the equator. Distribution of major marine fish population. Main fisheries are located on continental shelves, in coastal areas, allowing light to penetrate with plentiful oxygen than further below. Herbivore fish rely on primary producers, mainly the green algae or the phytoplankton. The carnivorous fish eat the herbivorous ones and other carnivores. They're part of the food web, starting by the phytoplankton and ending by the fish. Thus, fish are found where there are plentiful of phytoplankton. Phytoplankton produce their own food by photosynthesis because, they have chlorophyll, so they make their own food like the plant. Water is abundant in the oceans, and carbon dioxide dissolves in the water from the atmosphere. Therefore, light is likely to be a limiting factor for photosynthesis. Limiting factor are all factors that might affect the process. Like in photosynthesis, we got carbon dioxide, light, water, if we're talking about plants. These all are limiting factors. And temperature, humidity, and anything else. Most ocean water has absorbed all the sunlight by depth of only 200 meters, and 200 meters deep zone is called the euphotic zone. You have to know this part. Below which photosynthesis will not be taking place. So below 200 or more than 200 meters, photosynthesis will not happen. Not all areas with continental shelves have significant fisheries because phytoplankton does not just need light, it needs carbon dioxide and water, which allows them to make carbohydrates such as sugar, glucose, okay, to be able to make their own proteins. Making proteins are required and requires a source of nitrogen and sulfur. Nucleic acid, which forms the genes of living things, also require phosphorus. The green pigment, the chlorophyll, is essential for photosynthesis because it requires magnesium, okay? So if they ask you why the leaves are yellowish, you're going to say due to magnesium deficiency. Why? Because magnesium is needed for chlorophyll. The most important fisheries in the world are where the current system stirs up decaying material from the seabed, which is rich in nutrient. What is upwelling? Areas where minerals at the ocean floor are brought up to the surface by current. An example of that is Peruvian Ancari, the west coast of South America. This is Africa because of the Nile. This is Asia. This is Europe. Okay. This is Australia or Oceania. This is North, and this is South America. Okay, you have to know the contents. Very important. Overfishing is when the number of fish caught is greater than the rate that the fish reproduce, leading to fish decreasing in number. El Niño Southern Oscillation, that is the change in prevailing winds, leading the change in pattern currents in the ocean of the South Pacific. We know the upwelling causes the water at the seabed to rise up to the top, and that water at the seabed is rich in oxygen and nutrients, okay? Causing more nutrients to be at the surface. That's where phytoplankton are there. They photosynthesize more due to availability and abundance in nutrients and oxygen. But oxygen is not really important. Oxygen is more used by the fish. Anyways, they cause more phytoplankton here. They're going to photosynthesize, and that's going to attract more fish. So these areas at the surface are going to be rich in fish, and fisheries take place in these areas, okay? El Niño South Oscillation does the opposite. So warmer water will be at the top. They're nutrient poor, as we know. So no upwelling of cold nutrient-rich water, no nutrients, meaning no phytoplankton, no fish. The impact of exfoliation of oceans causes overfishing. Overfishing, meaning demand for fish as food will increase worldwide. Bigger boats will be there. Finding fish will be easily found. Fish will be easily found by sonar and weather data. Creation of huge nets that scoop up everything, and that will cause bycatch. Bycatch is when you catch more than the intended fish species. Impact of overfishing of marine fish species. Lack of growth in fish caught globally since 1990s, leading to loss of job, reduction in food supply. The fish nets get progressively smaller, so they will cause bycatch. Harvest of untargeted, protected, or endangered marine ones, causing also bycatch. Reduction in marine biodiversity, which will disrupt the food chain. That also is a result of bycatch, just in case you get a question about bycatch. What are the different methods we catch fish? Trawl net, and as you can see, it drags on the seabed, okay, gets dragged on the seabed, causing bycatch, okay, unless they are square-shaped nets, okay, that's the diamond-shaped ones, as you can see, that's diamond, and that's the other one is the square one. So the square ones is larger, the net is larger, allowing the tiny fish or the small fish to escape the trawl or the net where it can grow and reproduce. And that's a sustainable type of fishing, okay? Drift net, when the current are not anchored, often are the coastal waters. Like it's a net that catches everything that goes through it. Seine net hang like a curtain. That traps fish right here. Okay, it traps fish right here and collects the rest when it moves. A very cold surrounding net is often used. You see this one? It traps it around like they do not. It's very big. Okay, so don't think that they can go up or down. Some can escape, but most they can see the top from the bottom. Dredge net, dragging. This one is dragged along the seabed, and that will cause the bycatch, and also it will damage the seabed. Farming marine species reduces the expoliation of fisheries. Due to increasing human population, the increase in demand of fish as food above the production capacity of ocean and seas. So overexpoliation of these fisheries lead to decline in wild fish population. Fish are farmed in controlled environments. Aquaculture, farming freshwater fish. Mariculture, aquaculture practiced in marine environments. They are closed sections of ocean tanks, ponds, raceways filled with seawater. It reduces the pressure on the wild population. Okay. Production is constant. No bycatch because you only grow one specific species you are interested in, or you don't harvest the uninteresting species. No erosion of seabed by dredge nets. Management of harvesting the marine species. If the mesh size is too small, small fish will be caught, reducing the number of fish that grows and matures to reproduce. Diamond-shaped catches the fish, but doesn't allow them to leave. Other species-specific methods. Many fishers use fats for tuna fisheries. Includes the usage of flux suspended. Okay, it's a log over here. So it's placed there on the surface of the sea from a buoy. This attracts the tuna together with other species, including tuna predators, but mainly tuna. Once a good aggregation fish is collected, they are gathered in the giant nets. So it's like a bait for them. Okay, they collected all the fish come here, and once they find the population of the fish is a lot, or that log attracted a lot of fish, they're going to get a net and collect them all together. Okay, this will take all other species as well as younger tuna, leading to bycatch. What's the solution for that? To use pollen line, okay? And also use larger nets, like larger net meshes, okay? Quotas, laws, or legislators, government set limits on how many types or how many fish can be caught, like specific tons of fish will be caught annually or monthly or whatever, okay? The limits are set according to the information gathered from networks all around the world. These limits ensure enough fish are left to reproduce and replenish following the season. Closed season. Government set laws, okay, banning any fishing or any harvesting of fish during their breeding season. Protected areas and reserves. Some fisheries are protected by preventing fishing in certain areas, often specific species that are known to breed or that they're nearly extincting. International agreements about implementing and monitoring. So they set laws and ports at each fishery, and they help to protect and monitor the fisheries going on there. Why is this a good strategy? Because laws can be broken down, and it's difficult to see if everyone is following the law or not, and some people will break it. Monitoring organization based in ports have more success due to fishing being important for both income and food. There is a huge thing about illegal activity. So what is the effectiveness of these strategies? You know that people will break down the laws. So it's saying here that monitoring organization at ports have more successes. People are bound to break the laws and make illegal activities in order to get their fish due to income and food, because fish is used for income and food. Quotas can easily be avoided by simply not declaring how many fish they have been catching. Overstretched authorities may not be able to check every boat. Usage of net with an illegal small mesh size. Fishers frequently trespass in areas where they're not supposed to. And that was it for chapter 5. I hope the revision was sufficient. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and thank you for watching.